Hello and good evening, Middle Georgia. I'm Greg Loyd, and thank you for watching WGXA News at 11. We have plenty of local coverage to bring you soon, but we start today with breaking news. Breaking news tonight, big developments in the search for a missing Lawrence County man. The lead volunteer searcher tells WGXA authorities found his body this evening. We continue this evening as a weather-worn day. The Skywatch weather team closely monitoring the brutally cold temperatures. Chief Meteorologist Ryan Stinnett, one of the things we're going to remind everyone about tonight repeatedly, Ryan, is some of that snow that the sun melted today could refreeze tonight and make driving dangerous. What started as the search for a missing man is now a murder investigation after the discovery of a body in Crawford County this morning. The Bibb County Sheriff's Office says 24-year-old Aliko Dennis was reported missing in Macon but found dead this morning in Crawford County. Now, deputies say that Dennis was on a work assignment in Forsyth and traveled to Macon on Tuesday night. He was reported missing when he didn't return. Authorities have released few details but say his death is a homicide investigation. Staying with our southern counties, snowfall in Peach County is really picking up tonight.
We like to call him Mr. Cleveland because he's no stranger to being in the snow.
It's back to you in the nice warm studio.
William, thank you. And when Mr. Cleveland says it's cold, we're in trouble, aren't we?
Yeah, I'm actually scared to leave this nice warm studio.
It is a once-in-a-generation winter storm that's sweeping across the southeastern United States with that bone-chilling temperatures that William spoke of and potentially historic snowfall. Middle Georgia drivers, you've been warned. State and local law enforcement announced they're partnering for a weekend of aggressive traffic enforcement in Warner Robins. It's a weather-worn day, and we start things off tonight with the weather. In fact, Middle Georgia, we saw a lot of snow today. Chief Meteorologist Ryan Stinnett is live in the Skywatch Weather Center with more. Hey, Ryan. The Bibb County Sheriff's Office confirms that an almost 50-year-old cold case has finally been solved, along with confirming the killer. It brings a name to a murder victim whom authorities worked for years to identify. So continuing coverage tonight with many concerned about ICE entering schools. The Bibb County School District has released a statement saying that the district will follow the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, or FERPA, to protect their students. And you'll find the Georgia-grown building filled with a number of engaging exhibits that captivate and educate visitors. Brittany, stopping by the Georgia-grown building, it's an essential part to have the full Peach State experience at the Georgia National Fair. Taser says pilots have to rely on many layers of electronic safeguards given those circumstances, and plane systems try to limit alerts as the plane approaches the ground to avoid distracting the pilots.
Several federal agencies are now investigating how these two aircraft wound up on a collision course.
Brian Abel brings us more from Washington and reaction from the president this afternoon, but we do want to warn you at home that some of the images you'll see may disturb you. Well, new at 11, jurors heard opening statements today in the trial for the former prosecutor accused of trying to protect the men who killed Ahmaud Arbery. Well, the effects of caffeine on children and teens is still not fully known, but research has suggested many negative health impacts, including sleep problems, heart issues, and even increased anxiety.
Yeah, and now health experts from several leading organizations are coming together, urging parents to keep children away from caffeinated beverages. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has more on new guidelines on what children and teens should and should not drink. Thank you so much, William. Well, Houston County workers spent the day working to clear roadways to help keep motorists safe. EMA Director Christopher Stoner says that crews focused on rural roads using motor graders to clear snowpacks and putting down sand and salt in areas that needed it. Stoner says the big concern is that some snow that melted today, as William said, could pose danger. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says crews found the body of the American Airlines plane inverted and in 3 different locations. Well, President Trump taking a record number of executive actions, among them his declaring an emergency on the southern border. Some of his actions already being challenged in court, and at least 22 states suing to block his attempt to limit birthright citizenship. And just moments ago, the president making news on investing in artificial intelligence. Here's ABC's chief White House correspondent, Mary Bruce. Top story tonight, a family is mourning the loss of a 4-year-old who drowned in the Flint River. Fox 31's Sade Ray spoke to law enforcement and other first responders today to find out what happened. Well, the Georgia Department of Transportation says they've been working hard to prepare roads and interstates to prevent freezing roads. Our Gloria Ruth Finney is live in Macon after speaking with a representative about what they've been doing. Gloria Ruth?
Well, tonight, a Byron family is grieving after a tragic conclusion to the search for their missing loved one. Samuel Jackson, a former Fort Valley State head basketball coach, never returned home Sunday night from his job as an Uber driver. His wife reported him missing Monday. Jackson's son says investigators told them Wednesday evening his father had been found dead in Atlanta. We interviewed the family shortly before they received that tragic news, and they told us about their frantic search to find him. Elementary school students all over Bibb County are getting to spend some extra time with Grandma and Grandpa, with the district honoring Grandparents' Day today and Monday. Of plants evolved. I always say that we're not here just for good looks, we're here to educate too, so I'm hoping that helped out a lot. I know I've certainly been corrected about roses and thorns. They recall he was banned from the competition because he's representing a rival brand that sells plant-based hot dogs. I was just saying during the commercial break, I'm sorry, I cannot stand to see them dip it in the water and just gorging themselves. I don't enjoy watching it, you know, so I can't. I wouldn't want to either. I mean, just all the health implications too. I mean, when you think about it, it's just...
But these people are professionally trained for this.
Yeah.
How do you professionally train to eat hot dogs?
They throw all that stuff back up, so it's not staying in their system or whatever.
Our producer back there is really making a lot of jokes about
to all of you eating dinner and watching us, we apologize and we'll do better tomorrow.
Today's prescribed fire is going to be about 80 acres. We've got a small block here of about 30 acres, and then on the other side of the property we have another 50 acres that we're going to burn.
Just moments before this morning's prescribed burn, in Georgia forestry rangers double and triple check to make sure everything is just right.
Yep, we're about ready to get started with our backing fire right on the back side of this piece right here in front of us.
Okay. The wind is blowing the direction they need. Georgia forestry requires the landowner to spark the first flames.
If there was to be a wildfire in the vicinity, our guys could get called away. So that's the reason why a landowner has to be on site anytime that we're doing a burn.
Even after the flames start burning, Georgia forestry starts off slowly.
We started out with a test fire to ensure that the winds were doing what were predicted, and now we're starting our backfire.
The back burn offers protection for property bordering the burn site.
We have an adjoining landowner, a separate landowner, and we want to make sure that the fire does not jump our fire break and get onto that landowner.
Just as the name suggests, a prescribed burn offers a prescription for land management.
This property we're looking at today, the landowner wanted to try to eliminate a lot of the scrub oaks, which means we wanted a hotter, drier condition, and that's what we have today.
And for the owner of this land, Trigger Bow Ranch, Georgia in Taylor County, the burn's purpose is to help create a better wildlife habitat.
I believe in wildlife conservation, yet I am a hunter, but it's a respect for the animals and the game, and I'm providing great land management for them so that we can have a real healthy herd at my property, not only for the hunting season, but also for just sightings.
To get to this burn day, Georgia Forestry Commission considered many factors in coming up with a plan.
It's not just going out there and arbitrarily putting fire on the ground. There's science behind it. There's interactions of the weather and the fuels, the topography, you know, when's the last time it rained, when's the next front coming in. All of that's taken into consideration when a burn is planned.
And this expertise is also why Georgia law requires landowners to contact the Georgia Forestry for burning permits, even if the property owners plan to burn without the Commission's on-site help. Georgia Forestry officials say that burning permits are more than just about following a rule. The law is there because in Georgia, it protects the landowner.
The one great thing is in Georgia, if you do everything right, Georgia has a gross negligence clause. We have a right to burn in the law. If you were to burn without a burn permit and your fire was to escape, then you would be, and we had to respond, you would be charged suppression cost. And that's a cost for every piece of equipment, every personnel. And you might notice, Georgia Forestry does not usually issue nighttime burning permits for acreage. We have to be really mindful for where our smoke is going to go, because it's not necessarily the fire that we're worried about now. We can control that, we understand that, but it's where our smoke is going to go and what it's going to impact. John Barber says he's thankful for the expertise of the Georgia Forestry Commission.
I can't do it as good as these guys can. They're pros. I trust them. I respect them, and they become good partners in my land management program.
On the farm, I'm Greg Loyd. Back to school means you'll soon see plenty of these each morning and afternoon on your commutes.
The two most dangerous times for students traveling on our buses on our highways are when they are loading and when they're unloading.
State and local officials want you to know as soon as you see the yellow lights flashing on a school bus, you need to be making your brakes light up on your car.
The yellow lights are there for a reason. They're there to alert you that the bus is imminently going to stop. So if you wait to hit your brakes until the red lights come on, you have waited too late.
For 7,000 times a day throughout the state of Georgia, motorists pass our school buses that are stopped with their lights flashing and stop arms extended while they're loading and unloading students. What I would also like to stress now is that here in Bibb County alone, we experience that over 200 times per day.
You need to put everything down and pay attention to the highway and what you're doing. We're still seeing a lot of cell phone violations.
It's important to pay attention on the road, but it's also important to understand and follow the law. Here's a pop quiz for you. Say you're traveling on this highway, 4-laned, 2 lanes in each direction, separated by only a center paved turning lane. If a school bus stops, what should you do? You should stop. But highways clearly separated with a median such as this one don't require drivers traveling in the opposite direction to stop for buses. Officials say working together, we can all make sure our children remain safe this school year.